So in my part 1 video, I did not really talk about Red Blade, and so let's talk about that right now. And so the stacking wise, I really recommend using just 2 chases, and you can basically get 2 stacks just like that. And then if you guys use more than that, it does not stack at all. And so if you guys want to get to the third one, there's 2 options that you guys can use, which is Dragon Bite, and then the other one is called Decapitation. And so if you guys use this ability, it can basically go to the third one. And so let's see what happens if you use Dragon Bite and then go from there. The boom, after using that, now we're on a stack. And so once we get to the third stack, now we get these buff, and we get basically all accuracy rate of 5% and all AP plus 10. And then another cool thing that I actually didn't know about is if you guys use Maehwa's will, it basically resets. So if you use Shift E, it resets. But then now if you use dash twice again, and then if you use Dragon Fang again, it resets the Maehwa's will. And so what does that mean? We basically have infinite potion for MP pots, basically. And so, you know, if you guys are out of mana, this is what you guys need to do. So use Shift E, chase twice, Dragon Fang, and then Shift E again, right? And then chase twice, Dragon Fang, and then Shift E again, right? You know what I mean? And so she basically have infinity mana pot herself. And so this is very, very powerful and super easy way to get mana for Succession Maehwa. And so not even Dragon's Fang, let's use the other ability, which was Decapitation. And so let's see what happens if you use that ability. Now it uses that, and then now we are on the third stack as well. And I really recommend just using Dragon Bite because it's only 3 seconds versus this one is 7 seconds. And so another cool combo that you guys can use is, for example, this is what I do, is dash twice, down LMB, and then press spacebar. And the reason why we add spacebar is we can use Blind Thirst, and then it basically gives us critical hit rate of 30% as well. And so this is really good self buff for 10 seconds. And so I really recommend using that before engaging to the enemy. So why is this also important to get a 3 stack? Well, this is very important because if you use Carver right now without 3 stack, this is what happens. We get a floating, but there's actually no super armor, and it actually doesn't even tell you that they have super armor here. However, let's use the stack. Now we have 3 stacks, and now let's use Carver and see what happens. Now we have super armor, and so that's the reason why this is very, very important mechanic for Succession Maehwa. And it's not even that as well. The Decapitation also has super armor if you guys have 3 stacks. And so this is what it looks like again. Now let's use that ability. And now look at this. It has super armor. If you guys don't have 3 stacks and then try to use Decapitation, this is what it looks like. And they does not have super armor. So that's another reason why stacking this up can help those to get those super armors for PvP. So when I was practicing in AOS in practice mode for Succession Maehwa, one thing I realized it was really hard combo was like using Carver because it's W+RMB as you guys go, which is chasing, but then now you have to press Shift+LMB after that, and I was not really used to that. I basically go like backwards and then use it sometimes. And so it's just a muscle memory that you guys need to get used to basically. And so practice that and then get that Carver in your head. After you put that in your head, there's a really nice flow skills that you guys can use, which is using the blooming, which is right here, Shift+LMB RMB. So let's try that together. And then uses those 2 ability right there. And then once you guys get a hang of those 2, there's another even better flow skills, which is just pressing LMB after that. So this is what it looks like if you guys do that 4 combos together. It's a lot of damage. Highly recommended. Just basically one comboing like squishy classes like Succession Ninja. And if you guys get into PvP, I really recommend you guys memorizing this blooming, which is Shift+LMB RMB. So if I use in a hotkey and then press LMB, it also works for damage. But at the same time, the first animation is very slow. So what I really recommend is try to use Carver, and then after that using the flow skill together with it, so it makes it nice and pretty and smooth. So once again, this is my recommendation, which is going close, dash, Carver, and then Shift+LMB, RMB, and then after that, just holding LMB to use those 4 abilities. Another important thing that you guys actually need to know is about the Black Spirit Rage. If you guys do have 100%, in order to use this ability, you guys need to use this ability called Decapitation. And if you guys use this ability, it basically gives you guys lots of buffs and lots of damage to the enemy. However, if you guys want to use this ability, it can be tricky. For example, let's say that we stack up our Red Blade, and then we have Red Blade activated. And then if you try to do Decapitation and try to do BSR, it does not work. So if you do LMB RMB, it just uses that ability and gives super armor. And so if you guys want to use this ability, what you guys need to do is basically use Maehwa as well and get rid of the red blade, and then now you guys can press LMB RMB to activate it. And same thing with if you guys use Tiger Blade and then do that, and then if you guys press LMB or RMB as well, it does not work as well. So just keep that in mind as you guys playing this game. And then now I basically deactivated it, and now let's try it with just Black Spirit Rage without red blade. So it will look something like this. So you can have 2 stacks like that, and then you can still activate it. Just keep in mind it can't be on the 3rd one to use the Black Spirit Rage. Another thing that I actually like to talk about is your stub arrows. So let's say that on your first round we use 2 stub arrows, and then we basically have 2 more left, but then if you don't use it, it's not going to reset. So what does that mean? And so on the 2nd round, if you use 2 stub arrows, it's going to reset now for 15 seconds. So what you guys want to do is, like, when the 2nd round starts, you guys basically want to use the other 2, and then just use everything much as you can, so that way it's on a cooldown, and then after that you guys can get basically 4 back. And so now we have 4 again, so 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And then it resets. And so just keep in mind you do want to reset this as much as you guys can every round, especially so that way you guys can always have 4 stub arrows. And so I'm gonna show you guys all my Solar games starting from the first game. It really sucked, just spoiler alert, but you guys can see me progressing step by step. Like, I've been like just getting better and better at it. So as you guys watch that video, you guys will understand you know, how to place the session Maehwa, and I will explain as I go through what I did there. Starting off the bat, before I engage to the enemy, there's one important thing that I literally forget because it was my first game and I was nervous. But what I needed to do was basically using Dragon Fang. We need to definitely get that 3rd stack, so that way when we use Carver and stuff like that for other abilities, I have super armor and have protection. But I'm using no super armor abilities, and so, you know, it will be very, very risky for me. So yeah, I use Carver there, but yeah, I was lucky there basically. And I'm still not getting that 3 stack. It's very, very important, guys, to press down LMB. Dragon Bite. Get that 3 stack, guys. And I didn't press V there. Maehwa is very squishy that I noticed, and so you guys have to be careful. 2nd round, let's go. Let's see how I do well here. I still have 2 stacks. I need to get that. Come on, 3rd stack. Come on, Woo, think. I'm still not doing it. But I'm trying to do Shift+RMB to give some CCs. If it doesn't work, I just keep chasing to get the super armor. But once again, I did not use it, guys. So there's my punishment right there. Very squishy class. Have to be careful. I have to V out. Now I'm buffing up. If I press Shift X, I also get crit damage and health. So that's really, really important for you guys to use that as well. Now I'm just getting speed buff right here. And then it seems like I got the 3rd stack, and now let's try to go in. Try to give CC with Shift+RMB. Nothing there. And I died. So my first game, very nervous and trying to still practice on Maehwa for PvP, and most importantly, I was not using self buff. So note right now, guys, that you need to practice those self buffs and getting to 3 stacks on Red Blade. Also notice on my first 5 rounds of Maehwa videos, I actually haven't been using blind thrust as well. So what you guys want to do is, once again, 2 dashes, and then we want to use Dragon Bite, and then after that press spacebar. So that way you guys can get that, you know, 30% of critical hit rate for 10 seconds. And so that's what you guys want to do. And it's only 6 seconds cooldown, right? And so, you know, and then you have 4 seconds to linger around again. And then when you guys have time, do that, right? You can also just dash. And so another cool trick would be like just dash around, and you can just press spacebar to get the buff as well. And so that's also a friendly reminder right there. So before we engage, once again, guys, what we learned there is buffing up. So before we engage, so stack up your Red Blade, and then using Dragon Fang, and then spacebar, and then Shift X to give lots of damage to the enemy. But yeah, once again, I don't think I used my blind thrust for like 5 rounds, and so just bear with me on this video, and let's keep watching the video. But yeah, on my first game, 13k damage with 0 kills. Hey, look, on my second one, I got 16k, so that's not too bad, right? And then on my third game, I think I got it. I got some kills, I got 55k, so I think I'm going somewhere, and so let's check out some videos. Alright, I would like to see if I actually did the 30 stacking before I engage to the enemy. There we go, we actually did it, boys, here. And I also use Shift X for more damage and trying to give some stiffness right there. Now we engage like that and try to do more damage and more CCs. But looks like he got some resist there. So we're just running around. Our teammate died way too fast there, but that's okay. It's just practice mode. We're just here to have fun and learn the class. So I'm just trying to find some openings, but it seems like it's very difficult when 3 people is on me. Where's my other team, bro? What the frick? Literally 3 people is on me. I'm out of stamina. Honestly, there I should have used Tiger Blade, and then I should have just used that ability and then just run all day. That would have been my good strategy looking back now. Oh, we got some damage. Okay, we got CCs. Oh, unlucky. There's still too many of them, and yeah, we're dead. But as you guys noticed, I did self buff, so we are chilling. So yeah, overall, I think I did pretty well. Yeah, 19k. I definitely gave most damage, so we'll take those. Next round, we have 2 ninjas in the enemy, so what we want to do is Shift+RMB, and then trying to give some CC to those ninjas. And then if you guys get lucky and, you know, coordinate with your teammates, something juicy happens in a second. If they V out, make sure you want to sniff those guys. It's very, very easy kill for Maehwas. They can basically chase them down if they come out. But right there, I missed my CC. Honestly, I think the best strategy there would be like using Shift+RMB and try to get that CC stiff first, and then give them a knockdown and stuff like that. Here I'm doing 1v1. Let's see who wins. Trying to give stiff. Oh, there's a stiff. Oh, and he fell on the floor. Trying to do combo, but my combo kind of stuck there. I was kind of freaking out, I'm pretty sure, and did not know my combo there, basically. For those moments, I should have honestly saved my Carver combo, the 4 abilities that I use. Then Ninja basically dies after that, and so that was kind of my mistake there, using that. But yeah, let's keep moving on. But yeah, it seems like I got my red blade okay, and my Shift X buffed up as well. It's always on cooldown for Shift X, which is really good. And just keep using them whenever I can so I can get myself a really strong buff. And then after that, I'm just keep using super armor, CCs, and you know, any abilities that can give them CCs. But I was still definitely lacking on my combos on these scenarios and just using them basically because it does have super armor. But at the same time, if you're having those moments, if your teammates actually give them a CC like that, you needed those combos right there basically to like finish them off if they actually stood back up, for example. This was amazing part. Watch this. Once again, if they have ninja players on the other side, there's some lot of gaps when you guys play a ninja. And so you guys just want to press Shift+RMB and then time it right. And then if you guys get lucky, then they get stiff like that. And I definitely had a hard time doing the Carver combo, even though I had like about 4 games. It was definitely a tricky one. Like I'm not really used to the dash and then pressing Shift+LMB because sometimes it goes backwards if I do it wrong. And so I had a really hard time with that and then doing the 3 other combos. But practice makes perfect. I definitely need to keep practicing that. And then once I get it, you know? It's just, that's why I'm here in practice mode so I can practice those combos and stuff like that. For 1v1 grab classes, there's nothing really much you can do besides Shift+RMB and try to give CC, but I did not use it there, and so that's 100% my fault there. So make sure your Shift+RMB is always on cooldown when you're versing like 1v1 champions, and then hopefully that you land the CC. If not, then you can just use like, you know, SA lingering, but keep in mind if you guys use one of those abilities, you're most likely going to get grabbed as well, so just be careful in your future. So watch this square box right here as we were watching this video. The reason why I fast forwarded is because I basically never used this ability this whole round basically, and that was 100% my fault, because as a Maehwa player you do need to use that Shift+RMB to give stiffness and CCs to the enemy. But this whole game I basically didn't even use it, and then there was a time that I actually used it once and actually landed CC right away. And so what did we learn there is that we should have used it, but I never done it, and so that was 100% my fault. So I just wanted to bring that up as well. Use Shift+RMB guys as a session Maehwa. Is very powerful skill. You guys can use it 4 times, and so you have a 4 chance to give a stiffness, and just taking those opportunities to give a second CC and giving lots of damage and lots of combos. So with this new game, they do have Kozer, but I'm not sure if it's Awakening or Succession. So what you guys need to do is check if it's Awakening. If it's Awakening, then it does have a grab, so that's why you guys want to be careful. If it was Succession, then I could have used my like lingering abilities, right? But right here, I went close and then used my lingering abilities, and then after that, it punished me with her grab. And so what we learned there was that I shouldn't use my lingering SA there. What I should have done was using Shift+RMB once again and just trying to give pokes, but once again, on that time in that scenario, I was just so muscle memory on my lingering SAs and my melee close damages. So I basically forgot, you know, Shift+RMB. But let's keep watching and see what else we learn. So right now, yeah, I'm still doing melee stuff. I should have backed off a little bit and just, you know, Shift+RMB. That's such a free stiffs. But I just keep going in without thinking and just keep getting punished. So while they're fighting like that, you know, I'm so far away. What I wanted to do was there, Shift+RMB, but once again, I did not use it. So that was 100% my fault again. So what did we learn so far as well, guys? Shift+RMB is very important skill. So make sure you guys use that. Don't be the same second mistake just like I did in this video. So whenever the game starts, what I usually like to watch is on the enemy side if they have any grabs. If they have grabs, then you do not want to use like SA lingering. So I do have to be very, very careful with my using abilities and not trying to stay too long in the same area. How you do it, friend? Oh! I'm the MVP. So let's just talk about what we learned so far. So 3 stacks on Red Blade. So don't forget, before the game starts, we want to make this 3 stacks. And then buffing up as well, guys, which is pressing spacebar after the Fang, right? And then you guys get that critical buff, and Shift X as well. And if you feel like you want to use this, you can press tab as well and get yourself an E buff. And 100% as well, if you want to just load it up, just press Z and get yourself a self buff like that as well. Okay, and then after that, we can also use Tiger Blade. So let's say that we're out of stamina and we're in a danger zone. Just press number 4 or on your hotbar, use Tiger Blade. And then if you guys do so, keep in mind it also gives you guys iframe and super armor in the beginning. So you guys will basically not fall unless they grab you on that scenario. And so now you can just basically run all day until your mana runs out. And so this is the best way to recover your stamina again, and then to help out your teammates, right? Alright. And then after that, Shift+RMB. Just keep in mind, we can't use it when we're in Tiger Blade. So Shift+RMB right now is not working. So in order to release this, its best way is, you know, using Shift Q. And then using that ability. And then now we can use Shift+RMB like this. Okay? And then make sure you guys don't forget to like reset it, right? Every round. I always forgot to do that, and so that was a bad habit. But for now, you guys know from my mistakes. Okay? And then watch your stamina. It's your life. If your stamina runs out, you're basically going to die because she needs to stay alive with stamina. And so just keep watching that stamina right there. If you guys need to recover, just linger SA. The best way to linger SA is using this ability, Red Moon. And so you guys want to use Red Moon and then see what happens. Shift Q. And then look at the SA. Yeah, look at the SA right there, right? It's really, really long. So that's what you guys can do as well for lingering SA. Just keep in mind, if they have a grab, you do not want to stay like this all the time though. And so make sure you do want to move around as much as you can if they have a grab. But if they don't have a grab, by all means, and if you need to get your stamina back, that's the stuff that you guys can use by lingering SA like this. Right? And yes, once again, don't forget to sniff the V's. It's very free kill if you guys basically follow up with that. And then if they're too far, just Shift+RMB. Make sure you guys actually land a hit. And then after that, just give them a stiff or CCs, right? So the good stiff would be like using Carver. It also has a CC for this one. Or you guys can use the Red Moon. That has a really nice CC as well. Or you guys can also use Arrow Grapple as well right here, which is WE. So there's a lot of scenarios that you guys can use. So just don't forget your CCs. If you're still not too sure, just come over here to this bar and then click like floating, right? And these are like all the abilities that you guys can use as well. And so Cyclone Slash also has it. And so if you guys want to put this in a hotbar as well, so let's say that none of these were available, right? Let's say everything was out, and in order to give them a, you know, floating, then you guys can press number 5, for example, and then give them floating, right? Stuff like that. If I do want to add something on my list, I would honestly add this one, which is watching your lingering SA skills if enemy has grab. So if they have ninja or Zerker, make sure you guys press Shift+RMB as much as you guys can and try to get land the CC and then going in. That would be a much safer play as a Succession Maehwa. Meanwhile, me just going in and just, you know, using all my lingering essays and lots of abilities, because that will get me punished by them grabbing me and stuff like that. And so never do it like that. I personally really recommend you guys using Shift+RMB as much as you can. And if some of your teammates lands a CC or grab, that's when you guys want to go in and help them out for damage. If you want more combos, try this as well. Let's say that they don't die from that 4 combos. You guys can basically add these 2 more extras for more damage. So let's have a scenario. They came out from their V's, and then the best way to grab them is using stub arrows. And if they actually land this hit, you guys want to chase and then Shift+LMB after that, and then Shift+LMB RMB, and then hold that LMBs. And then after that, you guys can do Shift-Z, Shift-F, and then back out. Let's say that your Red Moon is on cooldown. Don't worry, you can still use Carver and has a CC as well. And so yeah, that's it, and that's what I learned so far as playing Succession Maehwa. She is very fun. I will definitely keep playing her in my soul area as well. And yeah, I had a really good time learning her. And I'm not perfect still, but you know, that's the stuff that I learned so far playing Succession Maehwa. Alrighty, and if I have anything else to add, I will definitely make part 3 and then add that on that video as well. And so what are you guys waiting for? Go out there, go practice, and have fun. And I'll catch you guys in a bit in next video. Ciao for now.